That's all Silicon Valley. It's a full contact sport.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the lessons of the book, by the way, that we pretend that it's this great, innovative little sort of hippie fest of like makers and all the rest of it.
Let's talk about that.
And it's no different than any other sort of full contact industry or politics. It's no worse, but it's definitely no better.
All right. So let's move on to Twitter.
Yes.
Twitter decides that.
Fast forward a few months, right?
Fast forward a few months.
Yeah.
You get a product done. People like it. And you're blogging the whole way, by the way. So people are reading your blog.
Right.
The blog was a great tool to get attention. I take it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. At the time, it would be like #1 in Hacker News. It was like very viral for its moment.
Right.
And a few thoughts of it actually ended up in the book. Yeah. But that's how Twitter came to our doorstep, because Jess Verrilli, who I'm sure you know, was head of Corp Dev for Twitter, and she was head at the time when Twitter was 400 people, liked the blog. And so I had lunch with her over a blog post. It was like the most random thing in the world.
So a blog post gets you the meeting with Jess.
Yes.
Then you wind up in a meeting with Adam Bain.
Randomly, because he was walking by the cafeteria.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And then he invites me in, and then I didn't know who Lady Gaga was. But yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Which was pretty hilarious. So they're like, Lady Gaga's here. And you're like, who's Lady Gaga?
Who's Lady Gaga?
Like,
I'm so uncool, you have no idea.
Good writer, though.
Yeah.
So then, I love this part, is they decide that they want to buy your company.
Right.
So you start coming back to meeting after meeting after meeting. And at the time, Adam was just running ads. Now he's running, which is kind of interesting. You sort of jump the gun or jump the fence in the book and say he's now running all of it. It was the one thing inside of Twitter that was really functional was their ad offering.
That's right.
And so explain what happens with Twitter and then on to Facebook in terms of acquisition.
God, this is just a complete CF, to use the military term.
Cluster frac.
Cluster frac, exactly.
Yes, fracking.
So, and this, by the way, is very common. Again, it's just everything in the book, by the way, and people may not believe it, but you can confirm it because you're even a much more grizzly veteran than I am of this world. Like everything that I depict in the book is actually very common in Silicon Valley. It just never gets talked about.
I agree. I think it's part of the reason why this interview can get a little uncomfortable at times is that do you still want to operate in this business?
Probably not. No, of course not. I incinerated my career with this book. Forget it.
You do? You feel it's incinerated? I don't think so.
I don't. Well, I'd appreciate your thoughts. What do you think?
Well, here's what I'll say.
Would you fund me now, Jason? Is how you see through the VC bullshit. You're going to have a bright career. I'm not going to write you a check, but you're going to have a bright career.
I haven't finished the book. Okay. So I'm halfway through. I have to see what happens at the end. But I will tell you this, that people are imperfect, and the imperfect people are the ones who change the world. And a lot of what we do is bending reality. So when you say, like, you massage the spreadsheet and you just fake the spreadsheet, I don't look at it as necessarily faking the spreadsheet. I think we're all suspending disbelief that these things will work, whether it's an electric car or a rocket ship or replacing car ownership with Uber or Lyft or people are going to couch surf. I think all of what we do is suspending disbelief. So I don't actually think any of that is odd. And I think radical candidness is endearing to people long term. I know this because I turn people off because of my radical candidness initially, and then they wind up becoming my best friends. So my gut tells me, like you being randomly candid about Y Combinator or whatever, I don't think that burns a bridge with them. I think that makes them respect you more. I think radical candidness makes people respect you more. Now, some people might be hurt. It might take a couple of years for it to work out, but I do think you'll work again, and you could start a company again for sure. If you have a positive outcome, I believe investors will throw their grandmother to the ground, step on the back of her head to get to the next deal. These are marauding capitalists. They do not care.
That's right.
I mean, you're a Spanish individual.
Right.
Did you face discrimination?
Oh, God, you're going to go into that? No, I never felt I did, no.
Well, and the only reason I bring that up is because you had performance, you had a team. I don't think that any team with performance, these VCs would ever care.
No, right. That's the whole thing. They're just indifferent.
They're indifferent. And that's one of the things. It's amoral or indifferent, however you want to look at it. Right. Your Goldman experience told you capitals, people are just trying to return more dollars than they put in.
Right.
It's that simple, right?
Right. But that's like the most scary thing with the markets. Like I go sailing. Like one of the themes in the book is that I go off sailing. Yeah. When you're out there in the ocean, I've been there out there alone in the ocean. One of the things you realize is that nature isn't cruel or evil or against you. It's just indifferent, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing with the markets. It's just this massive ocean, and it's just indifferent. And then you can navigate it safely if you sort of know its laws. But if you draw the short lot, then too bad. But often it'll give you the most beautiful experience. Hey
everybody, let me take a moment to thank our partner Audible. I am in love with audiobooks and spoken word audio products, and they have over 180,000 titles in every genre, and you can access them from anywhere on your phone, your iPad, and WhisperSync allows for voice to sync between your Kindle and the audiobook. I don't actually do that a lot, but I have some friends who do that. I just like to read. This is my big trick. I have a hard time going to bed sometimes. My mind is racing. You might be like me sometimes, and you're like, hey, I would like to go to sleep, but I don't want to watch television or be on my laptop or my iPad, because then your eyes get all those rays and you're totally awake. What I like to do is I put my eye mask on, I take my Amazon Echo, and I say, Alexa, play, and I say the number of things on Audible, and it works. So I've been using Alexa. When I'm going to bed, it's right by the nightstand, and I just listen to an audiobook, and I put the timer sometimes on 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because I know, hey, I'm going to fall asleep in 20, 30 minutes. If I don't fall asleep, I can just continue listening, because Audible's got this great feature where you can do 30 minutes. And if you don't like a book, it's guaranteed. You can just exchange it with no questions asked. I've given you a ton of different books, but one of the things I get asked by a lot of my friends is, hey, how do I get better at poker? It turns out that Annie Duke, very famous poker player, as you know, wrote a great book, Decide to Play Great Poker. And she reads it herself. It's a strategy guide to low limit Texas Hold'em. And I have to say, having listened to this and told some friends, hey, listen to this. It gives you a really good idea of how to play poker better. It is a great listen. Go ahead and get my pick of the week, Decide to Play Great Poker by Annie Duke. By going to audible.com/twist, audible.com/TWIST, and you'll get a 30-day trial membership just by going there and signing up. And if you're a super fan of the show and you've been listening for a long time, upgrade to that platinum. The platinum plan is amazing. You get like 20 credits a year. Amazing. And I buy tons and tons of books. There is a listen guarantee. If you don't like it, you can exchange it. There are no questions asked. You've heard a lot of my other recommendations, The Man Who Knew Infinity, The Hobbit, which I listened to with my daughter over and over again, Sapiens, Smarter, Faster, Better, just tons of amazing, amazing books on Audible, ways to get smarter and ways to expand your horizon. That's the number one thing. We get very myopic being in one industry, technology. You got to expand your horizons and understand more about the world. And I find when I'm trying to understand more about the world, it really makes me a better entrepreneur and an investor. So go ahead and visit audible.com/twist. Thank you so much. I'm a real fan of Audible.